Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Total Retail Talks. I'm Joe Keenan, the editor-in-chief of Total Retail, and I'm pleased to be joined on this episode by John Agnew, who is the Chief Marketing Officer of Love.com. We're going to speak to John about that business as well as the rise of conscious shopping and consumers embracing that means for Love.com and kind of how it positions itself in that conscious shopping market. So thanks for taking the opportunity to join me today, John.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So John, to get us started, I'd love for you to kind of give an overview of the Love.com business. I think some may be familiar with it within the audience, but others may not. So I think that would be helpful before we get kind of further into our conversation.
Yeah, Love.com is a marketplace where we focus on organic products, sustainable, eco-friendly products. We make sure we sell the best ingredients within products. We look at products that have really strong sustainable materials. And then also we have a program where we give back 20% of our profits to the Love Foundation.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that Love.com Foundation in a little bit. But first, I mentioned at the outset this term, conscious shopping has been coined. Tell us a little bit about what you believe conscious shopping is, and then why we're seeing a rise in that type of behavior from consumers.
Yeah, consumers nowadays, what I've noticed just as a consumer myself, we're educating ourselves more and more. And, we're really focusing in on the ingredients. There's a lot of great people out there who are breaking down products, anything from like artificial sugars to, dyes and so on and what it does to our body. So I'll give you an example. So with the rise of functional mushrooms, you're seeing functional mushrooms out there across the board, right? But thing is, a lot of folks don't know is that there's two ways that functional mushrooms are harvested. There's either machine harvested or hand harvested. Hand harvested means that someone's taking a knife and cutting those mushrooms and processing them. Machine harvested is that they're being extracted from a substrate. That substrate generally has a lot of, in most cases, pesticides. And so they're grinding up the mushrooms with that substrate. So just making sure consumers know the different variations of mushrooms they're buying from different brands that are out there. Because again, when there's trends and stuff, there's a lot of brands that come out of the woodwork just to kind of make a quick buck. And so consumers are just becoming more and more educated on what to look for in products before they buy. And that's just something that we really just want to be transparent on with our products. And so we list out everything with the products that we talk about and we feature across our channels.
And that's specifically in regards to Love.com's product line around the health and wellness sector too. Are there certain behaviors that are more readily apparent within health and wellness that you're trying to tap into at Love.com?
Yeah, I mean, we're really looking across all brands. There's some people that zero in on just supplements. That's what they focus in on. But
Yeah.
there's so many other variations out there of categories. We cover supplements, we cover food and drink, anything from organic coffee to rasa tea, which is a mushroom supplement that you can put into your coffee, body care, home essentials. Plants are on the rise as well across our channel. So yeah, we really just want to provide a collection of just products across different categories and educate people on each of those categories as well of what's out there, and really supporting the small businesses who are trying to make these products available on a larger scale.
Actually, that probably brings up a good point, and I should have addressed it earlier in terms of where these products are available. So consumers can come to Love.com. Are there other channels in which your products are featured and available for consumers to purchase?
Yeah, so across our social channels, our Instagram handles is actually We Love You, with a U at the end. Our TikTok handle is just @love. We have a Pinterest account where we're really just putting content out. Like on our Pinterest account, partially what we do is we're writing a lot of articles about healthy living, ingredients that we not only sell, but also, just ways that they can live a healthier lifestyle. And so we're just really transparent on how we're putting out our content, whether it's our product or just great benefits of certain ingredients.
So in that line of thinking in terms of content, we've talked about product. I want to learn a little bit more about customer of love.com and what you're doing specifically you from the marketing side of the business in terms of gaining that market awareness. This is a growing area, a lot of competition. How can you sort of position love.com at the top of the market and drive customer acquisition to this relatively new business, right?
Yeah, so when I started at love.com, the first thing I was telling Ryan, our CEO, is that I really want to build a aspirational lifestyle brand, more than just a destination where you can buy products. So that is basically involved education. So we started off by just writing tons of articles. We were sensing what was trending out in the market, what people were searching for, just social chatter. And then from that, we started writing articles of just trends that people were looking for out there. And we wanted to be that destination where people could kind of come to and learn, but also have the products there where they can buy. And so we really were trying to just zero in on just what people were searching for and being that source of truth that they could come to and find. And some things we were talking about, products we just didn't sell, but we wanted to be that voice of these smaller businesses that were out there trying to get their story out. And then finally, we would source these products and eventually put them on our site.
That to me, sounds it's a labor intensive, right? That all that content creation, that production, while effective, it can certainly take some time. How do you think about utilizing your marketing budget, your assets, your people as well to kind of optimize what you're putting out into market as you think about content and some of the other ways that you're trying to engage with existing love.com customers as well as those that might not yet be a customer, but trying to get them aware of the business and potentially become a customer.
Yeah, for sure. So when we started writing these articles, we basically then started to turn these into short scripts for videos, and then we started just shooting them. We have a very lightweight team.
Yeah.
I'm out there shooting, I'm writing the scripts with my head of social as well. And we were just capturing these stories. We were converting these articles we were writing into short form video and then dispersing it out across our channels through email, paid search, and so on. And then we started to then develop these scripts around our products. And so we started writing articles on our products. So like, let's say if it's an organic spice that we sell, we would start writing articles around, here's 6 recipes you can do with this, use with this spice, and then publish those out. So that's the next phase that we're working on. We've also started partnering with influencers. We've launched our influencer network, our affiliate network, and then we're working on 2 new initiatives, our ambassador program, and then I'm working on actually a cinematic podcast. And what that means is that we are actually getting out into the field and telling stories of pioneers who are out there, pushing the boundaries in sustainability, growing, organic products, eco-friendly initiatives that are occurring within our communities. And that's something that we feel is going to be pretty strong and, within our marketing, assets.
So as you were talking, John, one of the things you mentioned was an ambassador program, and as I was thinking about it, you've kind of told the story of how that when you were starting, you were writing all this content and then getting that out into different marketing channels, telling the story of the love.com and its products. But there's also that valuable kind of asset that you could utilize, which is your customers to tell that story as well. So tell us how you're thinking about customers getting that awareness and that kind of marketing out there for love.com. How do customers fit into that equation?
Yeah, customers are key because there are a lot of conscious consumers out there who are, praising particular products they use that they love and so on across the board. So we're always looking for consumers, whether they're like a nano influencer or micro influencer, and really just putting them on our platform and showcasing kind of their POV on a particular product they love that we carry. Because at the end of the day, like consumers are really what's going to help grow the company for us, right? It's not, paying millions of dollars for a celebrity to endorse love.com. It's really from the consumer perspective, right? Because these are people who want to live a healthier life. They want the right education so they can tell their friends about a particular product that they use that's made them feel better and so on. So that's how we're approaching it in the next phase of love.com.
And that authenticity that comes from the consumer. Consumers very much want to hear from other consumers. That's kind of that trusted source. They like to hear from brands, but also that kind of valued word of mouth is so important for brands like Love.com. So earlier in our conversation, John, you mentioned the Love.com Foundation and some of the important work that you're doing. Can you tell our audience a little bit more about that mission and all the great things that you're doing from a Love.com perspective?
Yeah, so Love.com, we're really dedicated to giving 20% of our net profits to the foundation. And that's really just to, put the money towards meaningful contributions in the world, whether there's a crisis or community that needs support. That's really the goal of Love Foundation. And so, everyone in the company is really proud of that initiative that we implemented.
So lastly, John, I'd love to learn a little bit more about some of the growth opportunities that exist for Love.com. As a newer business, there are probably things on the roadmap that you've targeted, whether it be product, marketing campaigns, technology. Tell us a little bit about what is to come from Love.com that our audience should be looking out for and they can be excited about.
Yeah, so there's a lot of great things that we have on our roadmap. One thing that I'm really passionate about is offering fresh fruits, produce, cheese, organic meats. Myself, I'm an organic farmer up in Oregon. I've been doing it for several years, and there's something like fulfilling about, growing organic produce and selling them to the communities and so on. So we want to kind of bring that spirit to Love.com. So that's a big thing that I'm passionate about. The other thing is I was talking about earlier is the cinematic podcast we're working on, where we're trying to find pioneers in the U.S. who are just doing, amazing things, whether it's sustainable living, growing the next food source. That's something that we're going to be really excited about. The ambassador program, we are on the cusp of launching. That's going to be something that will really find people who are heroes in this space that are, love what we stand for from a Love.com perspective. And then lastly, just some of the product collaborations that we want to start working on. We want to work with smaller brands, putting the Love.com seal on their products and work with them on a bigger storytelling initiative. And then eventually, we want to create our own Love.com products. We feel like there's a great opportunity for us to kind of expand on our product SKU set and really just tell a deeper story around what we stand for with these products.
So some exciting things to look forward to come from Love.com, from new product to new ways that they're going to be engaging with consumers. Really looking forward to that. I want to take the opportunity to thank John Agnew, who is the Chief Marketing Officer at Love.com, for joining me on this episode of Total Retail Talks. Thank you, John.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at mytotalretail.com/podcasts for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.